The Masonic institution, whose origin is still a subject of patient inquiry today, giving rise to the most diverse opinions, all of which, however, demonstrate the universalist character of the order, has always been a fascinating topic for human intelligence. Certainly, its uniform conceptualization will undoubtedly be difficult, since its gradual and continuous process of expansion and evolution unfolds among various groups of men and societies, thereby generating the most civilizing motivations. Without a doubt, it is an institution that certainly teaches the value of individual human culture principles, regardless of places and times, and undoubtedly provides individuals with a clear and certain notion of solidarity, love, rights, justice, and freedom. The beneficial seed of the Amazon was planted when, initially, brothers of the royal art, originating from other regions, decided to begin preaching a philosophical system that could improve human character. And so, on October 6th, in the year of 1872, they founded the first Masonic Lodge in the city of east of Manaus, titled the Great Meritorious Symbolic Lodge Hope and Future, located in the heart of the city. They were men deeply imbued with faith and the fervor of great envoys, with an unyielding dedication. They decided to promote the establishment of a Masonic workshop, and did so with the boundless enthusiasm and visionary foresight of great minds who were capable of building a lasting and impactful work in their community. The first Grand Master, Raimundo da Silva Perdigao, who served from 1904 to 1908. It was up to him to promulgate the regulations of the newly created Amazonian power of the Western Amazon. The current Most Serene Grand Master, Marcelo Pejoto, was initiated in the Amazon No. 2 Lodge on July 2, 1993. The men who succeeded in their stories had courage, determination, and a strong entrepreneurial spirit as their main attributes. They were, above all, individuals who believed in their Masonic dreams and projects, driven by the enthusiasm of the royal art, and consequently bequeathed to our society a history of deeds and achievements. It is indeed the present that he solidifies and strengthens in the foundations of tomorrow's Freemasonry, always seeking the examples of those who came before him. This is the fascinating and intriguing story of Amazonian Freemasonry. Welcome to another exciting and informative episode of Documents of the Amazon.
"150 years. Few institutions in the world like Freemasonry have the opportunity to celebrate 150 years of existence. And 150 years ago, exactly on October 6, 1872, brothers decided to establish a Masonic lodge in the newly created province of the Amazon, which is a region in South America. We are talking about a 22-year-old province, which is relatively young. In the year 1850, the province of Amazonas was officially created. After a span of 22 years, regular Freemasonry was formally established in the state of Amazonas, with the founding of the first Masonic Lodge on October 6, 1872.
Shortly after the arrival of the Masonic institution in Brazil, we had the distinct honor and immense glory in the year 1872 of receiving here in our beautiful and historic city a Masonic institution renowned for its exceptional ability to commit its dedicated workers. A Masonic institution that managed to mobilize a society that was previously diffuse and very subject to the kernels of its time by emphasizing the importance of unity and purpose, which was previously fragmented and disorganized. This institution played a crucial role in encouraging these same kernels to commit to the ideals of building a better, more just, and more fraternal society. I have a very unique and exceptionally special relationship with the Hope and Future Number 1 Lodge because my Masonic initiation took place in Roraima, still in Boa Vista, in 1997, as I mentioned before. But when I had the opportunity to travel to Manaus, the first lodge of this jurisdictional area of Gloma that I visited was exactly Hope and Future Number 1. Because after a tiring and exhausting day of traveling on the road, gathering with the brothers and being able to truly enjoy all these vibrations that are generated when we are here as a family in unity is an incredibly refreshing experience for the soul.
On October 6, 1872, distinguished brothers in the city of Manaus, who were already Masons, founded this lodge. And since then, from 1872 until now, this lodge has been operating continuously and successfully. During that period, these brothers were not only purchasing slaves, but also liberating them in public squares, making a significant impact on society by granting them freedom and changing their lives forever. Because Freemasonry does everything in complete and utmost secrecy, and therefore it does not publicize its activities. Unlike politics, which sometimes publicizes things that don't even happen, Freemasonry tries not to publicize. So they did this in the 19th century, then they joined with other lodges, such as the Amazon Lodge, in a collaborative effort to buy slaves and grant them freedom, aiming to achieve this before the Golden Law in Brazil. Few people actually know this because we Masons really don't publicize it much either. Few people know about the importance of Freemasonry in Brazil's independence. Dom Pedro, I was a Freemason, and recently I saw in the newspapers and on television that in Rio de Janeiro they are going to open it for Masonic visits, like visiting a museum. And for a long time we have also been maturing the idea of making a visit, starting with Hope in Bovia Number 1 in the state of Amazon. It will be guided by a brother, by the way, to explain some questions that mainly the profane will ask when they enter the temple. You see, gentlemen, that here, astonishingly as it may actually appear, there are still indeed enlightened people who think that we worship the devil. In fact, indeed. All Masonic work only begins after the opening of the Book of the Law, which is here behind me, the Bible. The Bible is indeed very sacred. An atheist truly does not enter Freemasonry. And he doesn't get in even if he wants to. He must be chosen, recommended by a Mason.
It is well documented and recorded in history that the first 4 Freemasons who arrived in Manaus were around June 1862, in the month of June. These brothers gathered and decided to work on finding other Freemasons who were here in this city in the year 1900. After much effort and dedication, and with the help of many others, 10 years later, they managed to establish the first Masonic lodge here in the heart of Manaus. Exactly, the Hope and Future Lodge, which was established in the year 1872, on October 6, 1872,
The Hope and Future Lodge, known as a symbol of enlightenment and progress, graciously opened its doors to the knowledge of society at the time with its much anticipated arrival. And whenever we start a Masonic work, it begins with a clear and well-defined purpose, aimed at reaching a significant and meaningful goal. And the aim of the order is to make humanity happy through love, the improvement of morals, tolerance, equality, and respect for each person's authority and beliefs in various ways, and through different means, in all aspects of life, and by fostering a sense of community.
Freemasonry is a perennial institution that has endured through the centuries. Not just any institution can boast 150 years of history without failing a single day in its obligations.
A work of brothers like Leopold, like Tiburcio, indeed truly like a knight. The first worshipful master of the lodge was Brother John Barros, who in his secular life was a commander, a colonel of the Navy, and an influential figure in the community. And how did they come up with the name Hope and Future? The name Hope and Future reflects their vision for progress. As with all creations, it came with suggestions. One brother suggested hope, another brother suggested future, and Brother Tiburcio suggested combining the two names, and the new name of the lodge, Hope and Future, was acclaimed, the first lodge founded in the province of Amazonas, a region known for its rich biodiversity and cultural heritage and its vibrant traditions.
This lodge, Hope and Future, was under the auspices and guidance of the Grand Orient of Brazil from Para until exactly on the date of September 22nd, 1904, when the lodges, totaling 26 at that time, decided collectively to form a completely new entity, thereby constituting a brand new Masonic power, the Grand Orient of Amazonas and border territory.
In other words, Freemasonry has had a very important historical role in society for 150 years. And the Hope and Future Lodge, like all the 50 lodges that are part of the jurisdiction, has the main objective of perfecting the character of man and bringing light, charity, and comfort to the people of Amazonas, the people of Manaus, the people of the entire state as well, and also to the global population in the region of and beyond, in various ways and in many forms throughout the world. Freemasonry has always been present in all the great moments of human history and civilization and significant events.
We had many complications and challenges back then which made things quite difficult for us. This Freemasonry here and two others that existed during the time of slavery, we managed here with our institution, which is in our records, which is meticulously documented, of this lodge and two other lodges, to show the purchase of slaves who were then to be freed. The Freemasons would come into this lodge right here in this very place where we are today, gather together, collect some money, and go out to buy and free slaves.
And look, there's so much incredible history here where we are. It's really a lot of history, Chico. I have goosebumps. In 1875, just 3 years later, they bought a house here on Bernardo Ramos Street, formerly São Vicente Street. Only 3 years. And since then, Hope and Future has been working constantly for these 150 years in this place, in this space. Of course, with the reforms that were made, with new adaptations for the present day,
Among the noteworthy achievements and significant contributions of the Hope and Future Lodge, some of utmost importance should be noted. The first, during a session on July 17, 1873, which was a significant date in the history of the Lodge, therefore not even a year after the Lodge's founding, the brothers, who were deeply committed to their community, approved aid for the victims of the smallpox epidemic that was ravaging not only our province but several provinces in the country, showing their dedication, compassion, and their unwavering support.
And in these 150 years, it is very difficult to choose among the many works carried out by Amazonian Freemasonry, by the Hope and Future Lodge, those that stood out the most over the years. I tried to select the works from the beginning of its administration, and significant ones in particular. Right off the bat, a year later, there was a smallpox epidemic in the state of Amazonas, and the Brothers of Hope and Future, along with other workers in civil society, were called to work to alleviate the suffering of the people at time. In 1877, during a particularly severe and devastating drought that struck the Brazilian Northeast, and once again, the Amazonian Freemasonry was present, tirelessly working and completely ignoring the immense suffering and hardship of the people in that region, causing widespread despair and hardship among the affected communities.
In 1884, the liberation of slaves with the purchase of letters of euphoria, we Brazilians who pride ourselves on having abolished this stain from our history in 1888, must remember that 4 years earlier, here in the state of Amazonas, slavery no longer existed. And it fundamentally did not exist because Freemasons, imbued with the sentiment of being free men of good character, greatly contributed to the acquisition of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of manumission letters so that those who had been subjected to the condition of slavery could finally enjoy the greatest good that every human being should have, which is their freedom.
Therefore, Amazonas was, in fact, the second state before the Golden Law to grant freedom to the slaves. The first in Brazil was Ceará, and the second was here in the state of Amazonas. The governor of our province here, who was a Freemason and a member of this lodge, issued the decree abolishing slavery throughout the entire province of Amazonas in the year of 1884 on the 10th of July.
This is a beautiful story that deserves to be celebrated now, this year, these 150 years. In itself, it would already be enough reason for celebration. And also, on September 22nd, in the year of our Lord 1904, the Grand Masonic Lodge of the Amazonas was historically founded here in this temple. Developed by all the workers of the Hope and Future Lodge and Amazonas Freemasonry, and dedicated.
During these 150 years, as someone who has been a Freemason for 22 years, I could observe the works that we used to see in history. I was formerly a profane, not initiated into Freemasonry, but through Masonic studies and my experience as a Freemason and also as the president of this lodge, I can confirm that everything I studied, sought, and aspired to, I was able to find within this wonderful institution. It is no wonder that we are here today celebrating this anniversary. It is indeed no wonder that Amazonian Freemasonry is highly respected. It is truly no wonder that the Grand Masonic Lodge of Amazonas, Guloma, is the very first Masonic lodge in Brazil. We are here very happy, believing that Freemasonry will perpetuate ad eternum, so that we can carry out the important work of our institution, which is to make humanity happy, bring comfort to the general population, and perfect the character of man.
Freemasonry is an institution with a deeply philosophical and reflective character that advocates tirelessly for the continuous improvement and betterment of the human race, recognizing the fundamental need to build a robust, well-structured, and cohesive social framework aimed at ultimately achieving a state of highest perfection. Each and every one of us, as dedicated and committed Freemasons, becomes an essential and pivotal brick that constructs this grand and magnificent temple, which is, in essence, the society in which we live and thrive together.
I am Antonio Lara Maria Alva Meireles Rondon Jr. I am 44 years old. I am originally from Vilhena, Rondonia, and I have been living here in Manaus since 1996. And we are talking here from inside the temple of the great beneficent symbolic lodge Hope for Life, #1 in the jurisdiction of the Grand Masonic Lodge of Glomar. Precisely the lodge that is celebrating this year 150 years of existence.
I encountered Freemasonry in 2012, where I was guided to the entrances of our temple by my brother, my friend, my father, and ever since then I have developed a deep affection for this Masonic philosophy. After nearly a decade, which I completed in November, I feel an overwhelming sense of happiness and fulfillment to be a part of this immense order, which now holds a special place in my heart and brings me great joy. The Amazonas Lodge is slightly younger compared to the Hope for Life Lodge, having been established in 1877. Nonetheless, it has closely collaborated with the Hope for Life Lodge and its sister lodges for a duration of 145, nearly 146 years, with the aim of advancing Freemasonry and benefiting society as a whole.
This allows us to reflect on the events of 150 years ago, envisioning the journey of the brothers who established this temple in the newly emerged city of Manaus, located in the heart of the Amazon rainforest. Despite being recognized as the birthplace of the first university in Brazil, Manaus was a small city facing numerous challenges. By putting ourselves in their shoes, we can transport ourselves back in time and imagine the hardships encountered by our fellow brothers.
During these 10 years that I have been here, the echoes of the past consistently manifest in every session that takes place. That desire of the brothers to be together to help others moves and touches me to this day.
I am completing 10 years of Freemasonry this year. In the 150 years of the Grand Benevolent Symbolic Lodge, we see that this is just a fraction, which makes us reflect on the effort, work, and dedication devoted by the brothers, carried out by our brothers for 150 years.
Freemasonry is made up of various lodges. Regardless of these lodges, we are all brothers. And these brothers have always walked in the past, walk today, and will walk in the future, shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand towards a future. But not just any future. I believe that through charity and doing good to others, Freemasonry, along with society, possesses the capability to guide all of us on a path of light towards the new era, towards the future.
I have an immense, ridiculous pride in being a member of the Freemasons. And I confess that in my experience, when I arrived here in Manaus in 1996, I never imagined that I would become a Freemason. So I passed a public competition. I am a police delegate in the profane life, which we call in the profane life what is outside of Freemasonry. And a brother by trade, also a police delegate, was the one who invited me to join the order. And I confess that I had no knowledge about Freemasonry. What I knew about Freemasonry was that they were brothers and that they helped each other.
We had in this place siblings of the highest quality who always worked for the benefit and welfare of others. First, the profane are those who are not part of the order, and then there are us, the Masons. So, these selfless brothers from Hope for Life, from the Amazonas Lodge, they built the Portuguese Beneficent Hospital. Since then, in the history of Freemasonry as a whole, both Hope for Life, which has wonderful social projects, such as distributing food every Thursday to the needy population, as well as other projects like Hope Christmas, Solidarity Children's Day, and many other things done by this beautiful workshop, this historic workshop for the Amazonian Society.
And indeed, solidarity is an inherent principle for a Freemason. It begins by genuinely assisting the brothers, but also primarily those who are not brothers, the profane, the truly needy individuals. And this solidarity is what caused me to remain in the order. Similar to any institution, similar to any group, similar to any club, let's say, created by men, we possess imperfections, we have certain flaws, but what is important in Freemasonry is that we consistently endeavor to perform at our utmost. As the Chancellor already stated, one of the positions maintained in the Lodge, the objective of Freemasonry is to bring happiness to humanity by enhancing customs, promoting tolerance, and respecting beliefs and worship, regardless of their nature. To be a Freemason, belief in a creator is required, irrespective of the religion followed.
It is not an exaggeration for me to state that Freemasonry is a fundamental part of the state of Amazonas, as a significant number of political figures have been actively involved in shaping the history and development of Amazonas over the years. Provincial governors and governors of our province, all of whom were members of the Freemasons, assumed this responsibility in conjunction with society. The Masons were part of the Provincial Assembly, a governing body in the region. During that time, we were not states, but rather the province of Amazonas. Consequently, a number of Masons were members of the Assembly, and it was within this Assembly that they initiated the allocation of funds for the acquisition of slaves. They also journeyed to the inner part of the state, and there they started purchasing slaves to bestow upon them euphoria. This fact marked Freemasonry in Amazonas, as they aimed to liberate and advocate for the freedom that everyone needs. The idea of freedom is central to Freemasonry's principles, making it a significant aspect of their work in the state of Amazonas. So our work is essential alongside society, alongside man, alongside the human being, is always to seek freedom, equality, and fraternity.
At
present, the Grand Lodge holds a total of 50 lodges within its jurisdiction, with 21 lodges specifically located in the capital city and 29 lodges situated in various interior regions throughout its jurisdictional area. And all of this work was made possible thanks to the selflessness and dedication of each and every one of its members, who wholeheartedly contributed in such a positive and meaningful way, ensuring that Freemasonry has reached the remarkable level of prominence and influence that it holds in the world today, representing the profound values, principles, and traditions that it embodies and upholds with unwavering commitment and unwavering dedication to the betterment of society and the advancement of humanity as a whole, making a lasting impact on countless lives and shaping a brighter future for generations to come.
I have with me a speech that I always deliver at the start of Freemasonry. I state that inside this organization, we are all equal. Every single one of us is equal. Women also play a vital role within Freemasonry, as without them, we would not be able to provide this crucial assistance to society or engage in philanthropy. Their unique perspective is invaluable, helping us make a better world. Their contributions are essential for the success of our endeavors, as they bring a different way of seeing things and assist us in creating a more compassionate and inclusive society for all. So the factor of the wife of our sister-in-law, whom we call within our society, is of utmost importance in providing the necessary support, help, and assistance. We also managed to gather a total of 145 tons of food in the months of January and February, and we accomplished this with the aim of providing for the population. Another crucial fact that I also wanted to highlight is that at present, in the year 2022, Freemasonry is also playing a significant role in freeing the students from various constraints. We are on the same path towards empowerment and liberation. We have created an incredibly fascinating project that is designed to liberate the students. It was specifically focused on the social entrance examination. In my opinion, during the course of my 29 years as a Freemason, I have come to regard a project of this nature as crucial and of utmost significance. In the previous year, our initial event of this project, we successfully enrolled a total of 6,500 students so that they could participate in a preparatory course aimed at preparing them for college entrance exams. Well, that is in the public school system, okay, through parliamentary amendments, but we apply the correct amendment for the students. And I refer to this as liberation as well. I draw a comparison to the liberation of slaves. I draw a comparison to what we work on every day within Freemasonry. Because Freemasonry is not solely about rituals, it encompasses much more than that. So this project that we brought into our Grand Lodge through the Gloma Foundation, which is a very important foundation for us, was created by the Grand Lodge. We implemented this pilot project with a total of 6,500 students, all of whom were enrolled and participated in a top-notch preparatory course of high quality. This course, which would typically cost around $1,000 per month, was delivered online through modules, allowing students to access the content at any time. The course featured exceptional professors and doctors, providing an excellent education experience for the students. It was a groundbreaking initiative that revolutionized access to quality education. And this year, we have now launched it for 9,500 students. So for me, this is a work of freedom because we are providing opportunities for these young people, as young people are the future of our country. Freemasonry thinks a lot about the future because we don't just work with adults. We also work with youth aged 12 to 18, whom we call Demolay. It's very interesting. We also work with young girls aged 12 to 18, who are the Job's daughters. And we also have the work of squires, who are the little ones ranging in age from 6 to 12 years old, and the girls too, the little bees ranging in age from 6 to 12 years old. So we already try to prepare these young people for the future of our country, because only with education and culture can we change this country. And I am completely certain, I have no doubt, that this social entrance examination project will also be an integral arc of our state. As I mentioned, Freemasonry is present in the state of Amazonas. It's not just any institution that can consolidate, it's secure to this day with 150 years of foundation, and Freemasonry is. Today, our Grand Lodge has 50 Masonic lodges. Out of these 50, 29 are located in the interior of the state and 21 in the state capital. And today, we are 1,800 craftsmen, 1,800 associates. So imagine the work we also have in the countryside. The countryside is very important for our Grand Lodge because in the countryside, we also have this philanthropic work that we do. That helps us a lot. So these 150 years, this will mark the history of Amazonas. I am completely and utterly certain that society as a whole has immense respect for Freemasonry because we are always present, always engaged with the public, always deeply intertwined with society. We constantly strive to demonstrate and uphold what is morally right, To rough hew the rough stone, to polish the stone that has already been rough hewn to achieve a smooth finish. This is our work. It is the work of Freemasonry. It represents the character of the human being. We have a mindset of always valuing society and prioritizing its well-being.
In these 150 years, the hope for the future has been marked by the grandeur and enduring wisdom of its venerable masters, offering the Masonic Grand Lodge of Amazonas a significantly valuable and very precious number of dedicated and hardworking workers for our esteemed institution who greatly and significantly contribute to the conception and realization of our noble goals and objectives as a civil society.
You should be absolutely certain of one crucial fact. Freemasonry stands as the finest and most extraordinary work ever created by mankind. Man created this Masonic doctrine and spread it throughout the entire world and across all continents and regions without concern for borders. Few institutions in the state, in Brazil, and in the world remarkably reach 150 years of continuous operation around the globe.
My effective members, serene Grand Masters and sovereign Grand Masters from Brazilian states, demand for authority. With great satisfaction, I join in the celebrations of the anniversary of two institutions like the centenarian Gloma Masonic Grand Lodge of Amazonas, which celebrated its 118th anniversary on September 22nd. May the great meritorious symbolic glory, hope, and future. Number one, which gave
So the 150 years have been very fruitful. The Masonic work started long ago was worth it. It went through so many difficult moments with the country's situation, the state's situation, the times, the critical periods, but it crossed them with gallantry, head held high, always showing society that there is a cell concerned with making humanity happy. That is the ultimate goal. Maybe one day we will get there. I don't know how long it will take. The important thing is to always preserve Masonic regularity and ensure that the work extends beyond this temple so that it is authentic, and the people can also feel the desire to collaborate and help.
May our brothers indeed truly comprehend and understand that 150 years will give them a very strong ego. For 150 years, when they turn 300 years old, someone will recall this brother passed through here. That everyone who passed through here left their share, their mark, their dedication and commitment to an ancient institution, an institution that is not for profit, an institution that does not seek to appear, an institution that does not seek publicity. Indeed, an established institution. We don't advertise anything at all because that's not our case. It's not our way of being. We do what we can in every possible way to make humanity happy.
These 150 years of history, these 150 years of work towards a happier society, a more just society, a healthier society, and well-being over the course of these years, and dedication and commitment should serve as our motivation. May they serve as an example. May they serve as illumination. May they be a beacon lighting our future, showing the road we must continue to tread, for the good of Amazonian society, for the good of Brazilian society, for the good of universal Freemasonry. Long live hope and what is to come. Long live 150 years of Freemasonry in the Amazon.
From the state of Goiás, also Tito Souza de Amaral.
To Brother Marcelo and Brother Tufi, Grand Master and Deputy Grand Master, Lord, your blessing and grace and mercy and life for all times, for all eternity. A strong civil society. And this is where the important role of our Masonic order comes in, which works philanthropically and charitably, but operates within principles and values, polishing rough stone, digging dungeons for vices, and raising temples to virtues. And demanding from their representatives, so that all of us politicians understand that we are here to serve and not to be served.
Operating among the most diverse sectors of society and within the established powers, always in pursuit of human improvement, promoting virtues such as tolerance, solidarity, loyalty, honor, friendship, and brotherhood.
Congratulations to all of Freemasonry for the work it has been doing, not only in the Amazon, not only in Brazil, but all over the world, in defense of democracy, peace, love, and education. I swear and promise to uphold the landmarks, the Constitution, and the laws of the Grand Masonic Lodge of the Amazon, as well as the deliberations of this legislative assembly, always guiding my life by the sound principles of universal Freemasonry and recognizing this Grand Lodge. So help me, the great architect of the universe, as Dizer, as Dizer, Dizer, as Dizer, as Dizer.
The Masonic Grand Lodge of Amazonas, Gloman, is considered the oldest of the Brazilian Grand Lodges, with its founding date being September 22, 1904. With the proclamation of Grand Master Gaspar Antonio Vieira Guimarães at a historic General Assembly in the Temple of the Great Meritorious Symbolic Lodge, Amazonas No. 2, on June 24, 1927, it was decided to uphold the sovereignty of symbolic Masonic works. With this significant and important decision, the then Masonic power gained complete independence. When all the workshops immediately became symbolic Masonic lodges, being the only one in all Brazilian states that maintained exclusively jurisdictional lodges in a defined territory for more than a decade, the new configuration of Grand Lodges in all Brazilian states was established, maintaining symbolic Masonic lodges for more than a decade. At that moment, all the historical and heritage assets of Freemasonry were transferred to Gloma. We can proudly highlight that, in addition to this memorable achievement, Gloma is among the 5 Grand Lodges to receive the Charter of Constitution from the current Supreme Council of the 33rd degree of the ancient and accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry for the Federative Republic of Brazil. We have indeed truly arrived at the conclusion of another episode of Documents of the Amazon. Today, celebrating 150 years of Amazonian Freemasonry.